to More with the Mac. It's about that time, people. We've done messages. We've done mail. We've done Finder. We've even done pages, text edit, and notes. So now, even though Trainer Matt gave you a little brief introduction with the trackpad on it last week, it is now time for Safari. And as you know by now, I'm going to use my commander to launch it.
Web content, 98% low. Amazon.com. Spend less.
Yes, Amazon is my homepage. Don't judge. Alright, as you heard before I hit control to have VoiceOver stop speaking, it was giving me a progress bar. Now that's something that you can set up in your VoiceOver utilities. I think it says something like when VoiceOver loads page, you can have it speak, progress, make a noise, something like that. That's a personal preference. Alright, let's go through a few of these settings. I'm not going to go through all of them because, again, these are things that you learn by poking around them yourself, but I will touch on a few that I think are important. So, Command comma to get to the Safari preferences.
Preferences, General window.
And it's already on General where I want it to be.
Toolbar.
Here's the toolbar.
Safari opens with.
Safari opens with. This means you want it to open with
A new window. Safari opens with. Pop-up button.
a new window. But let's see what our choices are.
Menu checkmark. A new window. A new private window. All windows from last session. All non-private windows from last session. All non-private windows from last session.
So there are your choices.
A new window. Safari opens with. Pop-up button. New windows open with.
And when your new window opens, you want it to open with?
Homepage. New windows open with. Pop-up button.
That's my preference, but your choices are?
Menu checkmark. Homepage. Empty page. Same page. Tabs for favorites. Choose tabs folder ellipsis. Choose tabs folder ellipsis.
And if I VO spacebar here, I could choose a tab folder, which I don't have none of. I'm not a really big on multiple tabs. That's not the way that I work, so call me old-fashioned, but I just like to work with one or two open pages at a time.
Homepage. New tabs open with.
And a new tab opens with?
Homepage. New tabs open with. Pop-up button.
The same choices are going to be in there. I just have mine set to open with the homepage, no matter whether I'm opening a new page, a new window or a new tab.
Homepage. http://amazon.com/ content selected. Edit.
That's where you can write in what you want your homepage to be. As you can see, mine is Amazon. That's where I do 95% of my shopping. If it ain't food, that's where I get it from.
Set to current page. Homepage. But remove history items.
Remove history items. Your choices are?
After 2 weeks. Remove history items. Pop-up button.
That should actually be on 1 week. But your choices are?
Menu checkmark. After 1 week. After 1 day. After checkmark. After 2 weeks. After 1 month. After 1 year. Manually.
Alright, or manually.
Manually.
Mine is
After 1 day. After 1 week.
Mine should be on 1 week.
After 1 week. Remove history items. Favorites shows. Favorites shows.
So you can have your favorites. So you can have your favorites show favorites or
menu checkmark favorites. Checkmark favorites. Blog stuff. Sartell school access.
So these are my favorites folders, and I can have it show these particular things when I go into favorites, but I choose to have it the way that it is.
Favorites. File download location. Downloads. File download location. Pop-up button.
Now, it actually says downloads, which is correct, but it's my downloads folder in my iCloud drive, because if I download something and say I want to look at it on my phone or something I can, play or stream on my phone, that's where I want it to go. So everything that I do on my Mac pretty much goes in my iCloud drive. I very rarely use my home folder for anything. Even my music library is on an external No. That's actually the one thing I do keep on my home folder because it's not a big deal. Plus, I have a terabyte of SSD anyway, so why not use it? But like my music, or not my music, but my movies, my downloads folder, my pictures are actually in my home folder too. So pictures and music are the only ones that I use. Downloads folder is empty. What else? Movies, it's empty, and my documents are automatically in the cloud. So that's where all my stuff goes. Personal preference. But if I VO spacebar here, I can choose the download location. You can pick where you want your downloads to go. It doesn't have to be downloads on your Mac or in iCloud. You could name a folder that says secure downloads, or this is where I want my whatever. You can just pick the location of where you want your downloads to go.
Remove download list items. After 1 day, remove download list items. Pop-up button.
You can have it remove download list items after 1 day, after it's downloaded, or immediately. Personal preference.
Checked. Open save files after downloading checkbox. Save files include movies, pictures, sounds, PDF and text documents, and archives.
So it basically just told me that I have the box checked to make sure the downloads are safe.
Help button.
And we're at the end. Back to the top.
Toolbar.
Interact.
In Tool General, selected Tabs button.
Here are tabs.
Tab selected.
Again, I don't use tabs, but I will go in here to show you a few things.
Tab layout. Selected separate toggle button.
My tabs are set as separate, but you can also have it as
compact toggle button. Separate. Compact. Unchecked. Always show website titles in tabs checkbox.
Mine is unchecked, but you can have it always show website titles. VoiceOver usually reads it anyway.
Open pages in tabs instead of windows. Automatically. Open pages in tabs instead of windows. Pop-up button.
Mine is set to automatically. I've never changed this, so let's see what the other choices are.
Menu checkmark. Never. Never. Check. Always. Always.
Okay, so I pretty much is standard.
Automatically. Open pages in tabs instead of windows. Pop-up navigation. Checked. Command click opens a link in a new tab checkbox.
Alright, that's just giving you a command to use the mouth with or the trackpad.
Unchecked. When a new tab or window opens, make it active checkbox.
That also, I mean, it's automatically going to be active. I really don't know what, maybe this is a visual thing, but when I open a new tab or window and keep the other one open, my windows stay active. I just use command accent to toggle between the two. Or maybe that's what it means. Maybe they'll be side by side. I don't know.
Unchecked. Use command 1 through command 9 to switch tabs checkbox.
Now this one is important because I don't use tabs. I uncheck this box. So now 1 through 9 takes me to my favorites, but if I had this checkbox checked, I would have to use command option 1 through 9 to toggle my favorites and command 1 through 9 to toggle my tabs. But because I don't use tabs like that, I uncheck this box. Therefore my favorites are command 1 through 9 instead of command option 1 through 9, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, hit the rewind button.
Command click opens a link in a new tab.
Command click opens a window in a new tab.
Command shift click opens a link in a new tab and makes it the active tab.
Okay, so again, this is stuff that I don't use, so I'm gonna just let VoiceOver tell you what they do.
Command option click opens a link in a new window. Command option shift click opens a link in a new window and makes it the active window. Help button.
Alright, and that's the end.
Toolbar. Into general tabs. Autofill button.
Autofill, that's pretty self-explanatory. You can make sure it's enabled. Let me see what the other options is.
Autofill select.
Because I haven't been in here in a while.
Add autofill web forms. Checked. Using information from my contacts autofill web forms. Checkbox.
Okay, so you're basically, this is when we talk about in iOS or VoiceOver in and out to make sure your contact card is filled out correctly. Because when you go to autofill, like say something wants your address, you can just hit Command Shift A on the Mac and it will autofill all your information. I usually double check to make sure everything's in the right spot, but 99.99% of the time it always is.
Edit. Using information from my contacts autofill web forms button. Checked. Usernames and passwords autofill web forms. Checkbox.
So your username and passwords from your keychain, you can autofill by using Touch ID or using the down arrow with Quick Nav off.
Edit. Usernames and passwords autofill web forms. But checked. Credit cards checkbox.
I have my credit cards checked because if I'm on my Mac and I want to buy something, hey, Touch ID will get the job done.
Edit. Checked. Other forms autofill web forms. Checkbox.
Other forms autofill, and I also have that checked.
Edit. Other forms auto help button.
Alright, and then we're at the end. So basically, I have everything in here checked. You can go through it to see what you want checked. Some people don't want credit cards or Apple Pay checked on their Mac. Personal preference.
Toolbar. And tool passwords button.
Passwords, that's pretty. I'm not even gonna go in there. Basically, you go in there and you can edit your passwords, see what passwords you have, see what old ones you want to get rid of, yada yada yada. When you open this tab though, it's gonna ask you for your Mac password, not your Apple ID password. So remember that when you go in here and take a look at this particular setting in the preferences on the toolbar.
Search button.
Search, that's basically setting your search engine. Mine is Google. It will stay Google. I think Yahoo has one, and you can still use Bing if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't care because I don't use nothing but Google. I used to argue with my brother who passed a few years back, but he used to tell me Google was it. I used to tell him that it wasn't, and now that's all I use. Rest in peace to my little baby bro. Anyway, the next one is
Security button.
security. Let's take a look in here.
Security selected. Add fraudulent sites. Checked. Warn when visiting a fraudulent website. Fraudulent sites. Checkbox.
I'm assuming you want that checked. You'd want to know if you're visiting a fraudulent site. VoiceOver will tell you this is fraudulent. Do you want to continue? And sometimes it won't even let you continue because it's trying to protect you and your system.
Safari uses Google Safe Browsing to identify fraudulent websites. Web content. Checked. Enable JavaScript. Checkbox.
You want that checked. Java's the way to go because it makes your browser more smooth and sufficient.
Help button.
And that's all that's in there.
Toolbar. Into privacy button.
Privacy. We've went over this, especially in system preferences, but let's see what we have in here.
Privacy added. Website tracking. Checked. Prevent cross-site tracking. Checkbox.
I have mine prevented because I don't want cross-site tracking. That's your choice.
Hide IP address. Checked. Hide IP address from trackers. Checkbox.
My IP address is hidden because I use, I think it's called Mail Relay, or we'll see. I think VoiceOver tells us here in the next section.
Your IP address can be used to determine personal information, like your location. To protect this information, Safari can hide your IP address from known trackers. Learn more.
Didn't I tell you that VoiceOver will never steal you wrong? And when I get it wrong, he gets it, or what Apple puts in here for him to say gets it right. So, again, I don't know it all, and sometimes I will make a mistake.
Cookies and website data. Unchecked. Block all cookies. Checkbox.
I don't want to block all cookies, especially since I have my IP address hidden and I got it warning me of fraudulent sites. And cookies are basically, not having to log into a website every time unless you clear your history and things of that nature.
Manage website data button.
You can manage your website data in here. I think you can clear all the cookies and cache.
Apple Pay and Apple Card. Checked. Allow websites to check for Apple Pay and Apple Card website tracking. Checkbox.
That just lets me know if I'm shopping. Then it'll let me know if they accept Apple Pay. No big deal.
Safari allows you to make purchases on the web using Apple Pay and Apple Card with Touch ID on this Mac.
VoiceOver always does such a better job than I do.
Web advertising. Checked. Allow privacy-preserving measurement of ad effectiveness. Checkbox. Help button. Help button.
All right, and let's go back to the toolbar.
Toolbar. And tool websites button. Extensions button. Advanced button. Advanced button.
I just went a little bit ahead and see what else I'm going to look.
Extend websites button.
Extensions I'm not going to go to, but we will go into this website because this has a few categories in here you need to see.
Added to preferences table. Reader selected.
So you can set
in preferences.
So you can set preferences for your reader,
content blockers,
your content blockers, autoplay. This is one that I definitely always check because I don't like stuff like if I download an audio file or a movie, I don't want it to autoplay, so I turn that off.
Page zoom,
visual,
camera,
visual. I mean, I guess maybe if you want your camera to be accessible on a website, whatever the case may be.
Microphone.
Same here.
Screen sharing.
That's, let me go in here and see.
Allow websites to access screen sharing.
Yeah, you allow your website to screen sharing. I guess that's so you can record it.
Preferences. In preference location.
Sometimes you might not want a website to know your location, so you can block it there.
Downloads.
We already talked about this.
Notifications.
You can have websites notify you. Like, for instance, I have one from Mac Rumors and Apple Insider. It's a push notification just like on your phone. It will show up in my notification center as a banner and tell me what the notification is and then go away. I can go look in the notification center later if I want more details. But I also have them apps along with a few others installed on my Mac to give me those notifications, which is maybe something I'll go over next week.
Pop-up windows.
Pop-up windows. Now, this is an interesting one because on your phone you can have a pop-up blocker, and on your Mac you can have a pop-up blocker. But sometimes you might want to allow a website to send you a pop-up because that's the only way that you can sign in or let it know that you want to go to that website. So make sure you go in there and see what websites you have selected. For instance, I got my kids' school website, Skyward and Schoology, where I allow the pop-ups because that's how I sign in and authenticate my password and user ID. If I don't, it's not going to give me the prompt to do so.
Pop-up windows.
And that is the last thing in there.
Out
So we'll Command W to close this window.
Close window. Amazon.com.
And before we get to the navigation, I'm going to show you a few things in the toolbar or in the menu bar that you should pay attention to. Again, it's the usual stuff, but I'll go through it a little bit.
Menu bar. App Safari. File.
All right, file menu.
File. New window Command N.
Y'all knew that.
New private window Command Shift N.
Maybe you didn't know that, but you do now.
New tab Command T. New empty tab group Command Control N. New tab group with this tab. Open file ellipsis Command O. Open location ellipsis Command L.
Now that's an important one. Pastor Matt, he is a pastor, but Trainer Matt pointed this out last week when he was doing the trackpad commander. Command L is technically your address bar. So instead of going to the toolbar, finding the edit field where the address bar is, VO spacebar, and then typing the address, you can hit Command and the letter L as in Larry and type your search phrase or a website. I mean, you can say who led the NFL in passing yards this year and hit enter, and it'll take you to a Google search results page, and you can look through the results and see what they are. If you know the website by heart, you can just punch in like apple.com, hit enter, and it'll take you directly to it. So it's an address bar / search bar, and of course, unless you change it, Google is going to be your search engine.
Close window Command W.
You can close this window with Command W, but you will get the prompt of Safari has no windows, so if you want to completely close Safari, you hit Command Q. But if you have multiple windows open, 2, 3, 4, whatever, you push Command W on the ones you don't want, and the other ones will stay open.
Close all windows Command Option W.
Command Option W, but again, that will close all the windows. It'll leave Safari open with no windows, so you'll have to launch something or Command Q anyway.
Close tab. Delete tab group Command Control W.
So you can delete a tab group with Command Control W, he says. I don't use it, so try at your own risk.
Save as ellipsis Command S.
Save as. This will bring you to a dialog. If you're on a web page, you can save it. It's basically just going to save the link in a document for you. You go in there and click on it to go back to it. You might as well just add it to favorites, which we'll go over here in a few.
Share.
You can share. You got your usual share options in there.
Export as PDF ellipsis.
You can export this web page as a PDF.
Import from.
Import from. I'll go over here and take a look and see what we have here.
Import from bookmarks HTML file ellipsis.
You can import bookmarks.
Password CSV file ellipsis.
And you can import your passwords. It's going to have an option down here.
Password C.
Where you can export your passwords, which I'm pretty sure that it's new since Big Sur.
File. Import from.
So let's see what's down here.
Export.
Export.
Export. Bookmarks ellipsis.
You can export your bookmarks and
passwords ellipsis.
And your passwords. And what it does is it puts it in a numbers spreadsheet for you. And I'm pretty sure you could open it up on Windows also in Excel. I've tried this once, and then when I imported it, it was nice because it asked me if I wanted to delete and destroy the file, which was nice because you don't want them passwords getting into the wrong hands.
File. Print ellipsis Command P.
And you can print the page.
Print ellipsis Command P.
And that's it for that menu.
New window Command N. File. Safari. File. Edit.
And it's the usual. You can look at your grammar and spelling and dictation in here. This is one of the websites where I turn autocorrect off because sometimes there's something that's spelled wrong on purpose by the author or whatever, and Safari always tries to correct it, so I go in this menu to find it. But this is your usual copy, cut, paste, and all that with spelling and grammar at the bottom.
View.
View. Let's take a look.
Checkmark. Always show toolbar in full screen. Customize toolbar ellipsis. Always show tab bar. Show favorites bar Command Shift P.
Alright, so if you want to show your favorites bar, which will be up in the toolbar or right next to it, I haven't tried it in a while, but you'll push Command Option B.
Always show favorites bar Command Shift B.
Command Shift B, I'm sorry, to show your favorites bar. Command Shift B, as in boy.
Show status bar Command /. Show sidebar Command Shift L. Show bookmarks sidebar Command Control 1. Show reading list sidebar Command Control 2. Show reader Command Shift R.
So you get the idea. Command Shift R is a good one because just like on the phone and you go in reader mode, you push Command Shift R on a website like apple.com and you're reading an article, it takes all the junk and the BS out your way, the extra visited links, the pictures and stuff like that, and just gives you the article.
Show customize toolbar ellipsis. Checkmark always show.
Back up to the top.
View history.
Here's your history menu. It basically shows you what you've done in the last whatever. Mine would be a week now because I have mine to clear after a week. And you also can go here to clear your history either for the day, the afternoon, or all time.
Bookmarks. Here's
your bookmarks. You would go down here to look at your bookmarks and go to whatever web page. I wish there was a hotkey for this, but I mean it says Command Shift B to show the bookmarks, but you still got to go up by the toolbar and see it. To create a bookmark is Command, or not to create, but to save a bookmark is Command D as in dog. And then you would select the location and then, go over to save or Command S. So,
Amazon.com.
That's all about the menu bar and preferences in Safari. Navigation in Safari. There's a few different ways you can do this. You can use your voiceover keys or the modifier of your choice and use the arrow keys.
Amazon Prime. Deliver to Clifton.
Go
Insertion
left, right.
Of text.
Down doesn't work.
Search.
You can add the command key and get to links.
Choose a language for shopping.
Headings.
Keep shopping for.
What else is there? Buttons.
Deal of the day.
VO and the letter U is the rotor. So instead of hitting L for links, B for button, R for whatever it is, H for heading, C for checkboxes, you can do VO and the letter U.
Window spots menu.
And right now it's on the Windows spots.
Heading window spots menu.
Windows spots. And there also is
links menu.
Links. And when I get to the one that I want, I just down arrow.
Amazon Prime. Choose a language for shopping.
And since I'm still in the rotor, I can just go back to the right or left.
Headings menu.
There's headings.
Window spots menu.
And it's back to spots. Now, the reason...
Deal of the day.
And I push escape to close that. The reason you don't hear buttons or checkboxes and stuff like that is because I think I took them out. Yeah, I did. I removed those from the rotor in VoiceOver preferences because, one, I don't use them a lot, and two, I know how to get to them when I'm using quick nav and single letter navigation. Another way to do that is if you have quick nav on.
Quick nav off.
I'm sorry, it was already on.
Quick nav on.
If you have quick nav on, you can use the left and up arrow to go left on your rotor.
Words, characters, navigation, headings, lines, links, window spots, words.
Okay, and you can use right and up arrow to go right on your rotor.
Window spots, links, window spots, links, lines, headings, navigation.
And again, you don't see a whole lot on my rotor because I usually use single letter navigation, and those options are always there. Speaking of single letter navigation, to turn that on and off, you use the voiceover keys or the modifier of your choice, whether it be the voiceover keys or the caps lock key, and the letter Q. And mine's going to say off because it's already on, but...
Single key quick nav off.
Now I'll turn it back on.
Single key quick nav on.
And my quick nav is on, and now I can just hit one letter to get to our want. L for links.
Save on volume T and gifts $9.99, $39.99.
B for button.
Watch now button.
C for checkboxes.
Checkbox not found.
And there's none on this page.
List one item.
X for lists.
Radio group not found.
R for a radio button. T for table.
Table not found.
G for graphics.
Valentine's Day deals. Amazon devices with Alexa. Image.
Yeah, see, he called it an image. Graphic, image, whatever. F for form or edit fields.
Text field not found.
Or text field, whatever you want to call it. And you get the idea. But again, in order to do that, quick nav has to be on. And single letter navigation has to be on. If you like to do it the traditional way with the modifier key or the VO keys and using the arrow keys, quick nav has to be off, and single letter navigation has to be off. Because if you have single letter navigation on, but you have quick nav off, I'm gonna show you what happened. I'm pushing B for button, L for link, C for checkbox. Absolutely nothing has happened, because usually when you have quick nav off, if I was in an edit field, it will be writing those letters. But quick nav on and is kind of the trigger for the single letter navigation, although you still have to have single letter navigation on. I have it set when I open up Safari, quick nav is automatically turned on and single letter navigation is automatically turned on. So those are things that I don't have to activate. If you don't have that set up, then that's what you have to make sure single letter navigation is on with the VO keys, modifier of choice, and the letter Q. And again, it's a toggle. So if you hit it once, it's going to turn it off.
Single key quick nav off.
And you hit it again, it's going to turn it back on.
Single key quick nav on.
But single key letter navigation, again, will not work with quick nav off.
Quick nav on.
So,
Valentine.
Autofill.
Text field not found. Search text field.
Here's a search field.
Quick nav off.
Now you have to have that off to search for something. I can push the down arrow. This is not nothing. This is not a password or username field, so it's not going to autofill. So let's put in Sennheiser headset, since a lot of people have been asking me about that.
Sennheiser headset. Contents Amazon.com. Sennheiser head quick nav on.
And you heard him say quick nav on because I turned it back on. Now I'm going to hit H to get to my results.
4 items. 116 of 267 results for insertion at beginning of text. Sennheiser headset. Insertion on word. Sort by. Insertion on word. Sort between characters. And S. Featured. Sort by. Pop-up button.
Alright, so I'm going to hit the letter H.
Drop plus Sennheiser PC38X gaming headset. Noise cancelling microphone with over-ear open back design. Velour earbuds. Compatible with PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox, Mac, mobile, and more. PC38X gaming headset.
We're going to check this out.
90%.
So I push VO spacebar.
Drop plus Sennheiser
on the link.
PC3.
I probably could have pushed enter too, but VO spacebar is my force of habits. So I searched for what I was looking for. I found it. I took a look at the product information. Now, if I want to send this link to somebody, that's easy as pie. I could either go down to the share menu, or what I would do is I will hit Command L.
Open location. HTTPS:/.
Now it's going to read the link, and all I'm going to do is turn quick nav off.
Quick nav off.
Hit Command A to select all.
Select all.
And I'm going to hit C for copy.
Copy.
And I'm going to go send this to my wife and tell her what she ask her what she thinks.
HTTPS:/. Quick nav off. Quick nav apps. 9% conversations. In conversation. Honey. So select. Paste. SZWRPCMVJDCZKB05. Tell me what you. Tell me what you.
Alright.
Safari.
So I'm back over to Safari, and another navigational tip that I'll give you is if you want to go back a page, you can hold down Command and the left bracket, which is right next to the letter P as in Paul.
Back. Drop plus Sennheiser PC38X.
And it took me right back to my search results page. So I liked the first one. It was a little spendy, but it was new. I mean, new and compared to the one that I have, because the one that I'm using came out in 2019. This one just came out a year ago. So let's search for something like
open location. HTTPS space unselected.
Who invented
invented
Apple computers.
Who invented Apple computers? Select it. Who invented Apple computers? Google search.
And one thing I will tell you here is I've told you previously that QuickNav has to be on in order for you to fill in a username and password or to search in an edit field. When you do Command L to search for something or to punch in a website, QuickNav does not have to be off. So let's go see what our results are.
Skipped search modes.
I'm pushing H.
Content navigation bar. 4 items. Showing results for who invented Apple computers. Search instead for who
and of course, VoiceOver will give me a suggestion there. I'll push H again.
Search results. History of Apple Incorporated. Wikipedia. https://en.wik.
Alright, that sounds like a good article, so we're going to VO spacebar on that.
History of Apple Incorporated. Wikipedia page has 1,638 links. 49 heading.
He told me that there was 49 headings and over 1,000 links. This would be the area where I would push Command Shift R to give me reader mode, and VoiceOver will say
History of Apple Incorporated. Wikipedia page has 1,210 links. 42 headings. History of Apple Incorporated.
He's reading all the links and the headings, but reader mode is now on.
History of Apple. For more general information about the company, see Apple Incorporated.
And I can push VO and the letter A to read all.
Apple Incorporated. Formerly Apple.
Or I can push VoiceOver and the letter B to read from beginning.
History of Apple Incorporated. Wikipedia.
I mean, these are commands that if you went through the notes folder and looked at all the keyboard combination and the commands, stuff that you would know. Again, just a little reminder, to go back a page is Command left bracket. To go forward a page is Command right bracket. To close Safari completely is Command Q, and if you have multiple pages open, you can do Command Option W to close those pages. But again, you'll have Safari has no Windows prompt. One more thing I can show you since I'm on this article, and I've already put it in reader mode. Say I want to email this to Matt or the instructor team. To email an article directly from Safari without opening up your mail app first, because when you do this command, it will open up mail for you, is Command Shift I.
Mail. History of Apple Incorporated. Wikipedia window. 2. Edit text has keyboard focus.
You heard him. He said to edit text. It opened up the mail app and dropped me automatically in the to field. So we're going to do
CHJUGGERNAUT. Selection replaced.
Matt. So I'm sending this to Matt.
To BCC.
I can also send, put a blind carbon copy to somebody, but I'm not.
BCC. Subject. History of Apple Incorporated. Wikipedia. Content selected. Subject. Edit text.
And you see that it has the subject there already. I don't need to fill nothing in.
From Cliff. Signature.
It asked me where I wanted to send it from. It has my name already. There's a signature that's on.
None. Signature.
I have mine on none.
Message size.
It's going to tell me what size the message is, because there's probably a few graphics in it, but not a whole lot.
194 kilobytes.
No, it's not even a megabyte, so.
Sent web content as reader. Pop-up button.
Now, it asked me if I wanted to send it web content, and it already has reader selected, because remember, I pushed Command Shift R to put it in reader mode. But let's see what else I can send it as.
Menu checkmark reader. Checkmark reader. Web page. PDF. Link only. Link only.
So I can send it as a link only, the web page, or as a PDF.
Reader.
So
pop-up button.
That's a cute little trick you can do on the Mac. You can do it on the iPad also, but I think when you do it there, it doesn't give you choices to send like we just heard. It just sends the link with the subject line. So I'm gonna send this to Mac. Command Shift D is that command if you don't remember.
Send all inboxes. 137.
And it keeps me in mail, but I'm going to Command Q.
Quit Safari. History.
And it takes me back to Safari. So, as you can see, there's a whole lot of things that you can do with Safari. Command or VOU for the rotor if you're not using QuickNav. Otherwise, if QuickNav is on, left and up arrow will take you left on the rotor. Up and right arrow will take you right on the rotor. Remember, single letter navigation has to be turned on with voiceover modifier of your choice and the letter Q. It's a toggle, so once to turn it on or turn it off, whichever one is already activated. And in order to use single letter navigation, quick nav has to be on. Now remember, explore your file menu. I touched on a few things in it, but if you want to know them in more detail, go ahead and go through that. So again, this has been Safari, preferences and navigation on the Mac.